Now, Revelation chapter 12 is the connecting part to Daniel chapter 7. You have the 10 horns you have here, and he will identify the other half. The other part identified the United States itself, the head of gold. But this got to connect, identify who is the part of the silver. So he had to add the head onto it, which was the head of gold in Daniel chapter 2, onto the rest of it. Give us a number here so we can understand how many nations is God is considering as being a part of this image which was dreadful and terrible, spoken of by Daniel chapter 2, verse 31. Then Revelation chapter 12. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. I showed you this in Revelation chapter 37, I believe it was. Genesis chapter 37, where I make sure of this, where this prophecy of where Joseph had the vision. It's taking us around here. So the woman, since Jesus is no longer, the woman would have to be to symbolize the law of Moses, because it was the only one that had power. It was the birth where Jesus came through the law of Moses. And the 12, it said it had, she was clothed with the sun. Sun would be God. And the moon on her feet, it would be the inhabitants of the land. And upon her head, a crown of 12 stars. The moon would be the lesser. But the 12 stars would be the 12 tribes of Israel, born to the house of Jacob. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. These were the ones that accepted the covenant of God, which was placed in the ark. They become the ark of the covenant. And she, being with child, cried, traveling in birth and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another one. In other words, this is a family tradition of coming on God's side and the Antichrist, which that began at Alexander the Great when they came in and tried to destroy all of them. And they've done the same thing right now to try to wipe out the whole seed of Abraham there to try to change time. Now, and there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads, 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. He had 7 heads, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. The United States was one of the heads. They the one had 4 military fighting forces over there in Daniel chapter 7, which was 10 for the horns. 1, 2, 3, 4. But they left 6 belonging to other nations. So he tells you right here, he gives you a complete breakdown of the head of gold and the shoulders and the arm of silver, spoken of in Daniel chapter 31, chapter 2, verse 31. And there appeared another one in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. These crowns, that mean these were the presidents of these 7 nations who had 10 horns, with 4 of the horns fighting forces belong to the United States of America, and the rest of the 6 belong to the supporting nation, which is symbolized by the chest and arm of silver, spoken of in Daniel chapter 2. Now, he said it was a red dragon. He letting you know that the dragon was a dragon is a creature that breathes, a fire-breathing creature. This means this nuclear weapon was going to be used in this world war. That he was going to use nuclear weapon will be used in this war. That's what the dragon means. This is what gave him the strength. And this is the dragon. These weapons of mass destruction is the red dragon. He giving you what kind of weapon that they was going to use over in the Middle East. This is what the nations out of the Gentiles. These were the people that Barack Obama talked to a few days, I think, around the first part of December, getting ready to send these people over there at West Point. He said he was at the graduation, and I saw that it was always Gentiles, just like God had said in Jeremiah chapter 1:14, I believe it was. Now, and there appeared another, and this here to connect, the 10 horns connect you to Daniel chapter 7. And his tail drew down a third part of the stars. It goes back to Joseph's dream, and did cast them down to the earth. Those are a third part of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe. He killed 1/3 of those people over there, and third, and the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered. That's the law of Moses now. So the woman is the law of Moses. Since Jesus died for that law, Jesus became the law. Everybody to take on the law of democracy, he stood before this and to keep anybody from taking the law of Moses. They would be killed, and if they didn't honor the law of democracy. And the woman which was ready to be delivered, but to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man child who was to rule all the nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto God and to his throne. Jesus, being the Father, being born unto this law, consumed this law. He was called up to God when he was crucified. He letting you know who this was. And the woman fled unto the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of God that they should feed her there 1,260 days. And there was war in heaven, and Michael and his angel fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. Everybody fought. These are the angels that fighting with the United States with these nuclear weapons. They fought with them, but in the end they would lose. In the end they would lose. They fought with them and prevailed not. Neither was their place found anymore in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil, and Satan, which deceived the whole world. He was cast out unto the earth, and his angel was cast out with him. Everybody that took on a law of democracy and fought with the United States and the United Nations over there trying to take all of this crude oil here, they will be defeated. But not until they have slain so many people in one World War III. But at a set appointed time, Jesus will drive them out. And when they drive them out, their condition would be far worse than the first. They said that they couldn't make it. They had to take this oil before the Soviet Union take it. They said they had to take the oil before the Chinese take it. But what they've done is they're sitting up preparing to do this because just to take this by force. Pakistan, they sending troops more to Pakistan and Afghanistan to create a path here to stop the Chinese from coming over here. But yet, and when they take over Iran, they got Iraq, they get Afghanistan, only thing they have to do is get Iran. And once he do this, he'll create a wall from here to here, and he will hide behind these and put ships out here to guard this while he take the oil to enhance his own natural resource, but leave the children of the land of the covenant without food. But he will cater to their leader. And when he forced the leaders to be democratized, connecting all the earth together by a one united system called democracy, he would be taken over God, being the Antichrist, cursing God, taking that which belongs to God, and dividing himself, but be bringing a curse upon him. He would put his tabernacle in here and there. But let me end this book before I close this. He would go in. He's getting ready to put a surge of troops in here, which he would say in verse chapter 12, Revelation chapter 12. And the earth will consume some of them.